As long as no one feels safe in a house of worship, we have a lot of work to do.
One person is dead and 3 are injured after a shooting in a California synagogue. We're hearing from our local faith leaders. Several schools getting money from the state to cross off some big projects. We'll tell you if your schools are on the list.
It just started carrying us across the house.
And today marks 5 years since a deadly EF4 tornado ripped through the state. We're taking a look back. 4029 News at 10 starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 4029 News at 10.
A suspect is in custody tonight after a shooting at a San Diego synagogue left 1 person dead and 3 others wounded. Among those hurt, a rabbi and a young girl. It happened this morning in Poway, a town about 10 miles outside San Diego, during a gathering for the last day of Passover. ABC's Natalie Brunel has the latest from Los Angeles. We sat down with local religious leaders after learning about today's shooting. They say having these conversations with their congregations have become all too common.
It can happen at any time, whether it was a Shabbat or a Passover or a Wednesday. It's still a horrible tragedy. And as long as no one feels safe in a house of worship, we have a lot of work to do.
Very, very disturbing, frustrating. It seems like it's a continuous cycle that never ends, and it is heartbreaking.
Congregation Eitz Chaim is coming together with the Bentonville Islamic Center, First Christian Church, and members of other faiths for an inclusive peace walk tomorrow morning. People of all religions are invited to the interfaith prayer service, followed by a walk to Lake Bentonville and a barbecue. The event begins tomorrow at 9 o'clock at Waterway Church. The peace walk was scheduled before today's shooting. We want to turn now to our weather. Meteorologist Taylor Purnell is joining me now. And Taylor, you say to expect some cooler temperatures tomorrow, isn't that right?
Yeah, I don't think tomorrow will be quite as warm as what we saw today. Probably still not too bad out there, though. Could see a spotty shower or two for the first half of the day.
Projects are also being considered for the program's next funding cycle, including a new elementary and middle school in Bentonville. Arkansans bringing in unused or expired prescription drugs today for the 17th Drug Take-Back Day. Police departments were on site at pharmacies and Walmart locations across the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas to collect unwanted prescriptions.
Well, I just tell them if it's expired, unused, that time to get rid of it for safe disposal. Flushing it down the toilet, crushing it up, putting in cat litter, it's not safe anymore to do.
Arkansas law enforcement have collected more than 315,000 pounds of prescription drugs since the first Drug Take-Back Day in 2010. The first medical marijuana in the state has been harvested. This is according to a spokesperson for Bold Team, a cultivation center in southern Arkansas. They expect to have their product on dispensary shelves by May 12th. They don't quite know yet how much this harvest will yield, but previously they've estimated to have about 200 pounds of product. A Department of Finance and Administration spokesman said 2 other cultivators are expected to harvest by this summer. It's been more than 2 years since voters approved medical marijuana. They voted yes in November of 2016. People who were approved for medical marijuana got their patient cards in February. So far, more than 10,000 people have been approved. Now they're estimating the product will become available May 12th. But the 2 dispensaries close to opening are in Hot Springs. The dispensaries in Bentonville tell us they hope to open by mid-June or July. The NFL draft wrapping up today, and Jordan Black is joining us now. Jordan, we saw 3 Hogs realizing their professional dreams.
That's so right. It's such a special day.
Salsa police are looking for an escaped inmate tonight. Police say Mark Wilson was on work detail Friday when he walked into the woods near the Salsa landfill. That's off of Highway 64. If you have any information about where Mark Wilson is, you're asked to contact Salsa police. 1 person was life-flighted this afternoon after a motorcycle accident in LaFleur County. Oklahoma Highway Patrol says it happened north of Muse on State Highway 1 or the Talamina Scenic Drive. They say Blake Muller of Louisiana was on a motorcycle when he left the roadway and hit a ditch. He was airlifted to Washington Regional in critical condition. The troopers says the crash was caused by unsafe driving speeds. Coming up on Monday, 4029 News is taking a look at child abuse and how it impacts our community, as well as the available resources to help families. This Monday night at 6:30, our Project Community Special, Preventing Child Abuse, will air right here on 4029. Former Vice President Joe Biden is officially in the race for the White House. The 76-year-old enters the field of contenders as a frontrunner, and early fundraising numbers indicate his ability to raise necessary campaign cash and stay competitive. Matt Pritchard is in Washington with how much Biden has raised so far. Biden served in the Senate for nearly 4 decades before becoming vice president for 2 terms. He's joining a crowded pool of people running to take on President Trump. It includes several U.S. senators like Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand, and Elizabeth Warren, among other hopefuls. Candidates include former governors and cabinet members and 2 mayors. 4029 is preparing you for the upcoming election with a series called Conversation with the Candidate. The town hall style event focuses on the candidates looking to challenge President Trump in 2020. Every weekend, 4029 will bring you 30 minutes with each candidate. This week, it's Bill Weld and John Hickenlooper. That's Sunday morning starting at 10:30 on 4029. As the weather gets nicer, gardening season is upon us. Today in Bentonville, they hosted the 6th annual Lawn and Garden Expo with a plant sale and garden tools sale. They had different specialists that covered all different topics, like which bugs are good and bad for plants and what can cause problems for certain plants. The event was put on by the Benton County Master Gardeners. Walking in the shoes of a refugee, how some University of Arkansas students gave people that experience today.
We were like around here and I had to dig my way out.
And a tornado in central Arkansas changing 2 towns forever. We're looking back on the 5th anniversary of the tornado in Valonia.